You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Hello and welcome to Living Full Out Show. My name is Nancy Solari, and today we're going to be talking about recovery. How do we get over a time in our life where we've been injured, emotionally abused, disappointed, or maybe just feeling as though we're not living up to our expectations? How do we recover? How do we get back on track? Now, for some of you, it may be a physical recovery. Maybe you've been in an accident. Maybe your heart has been broken and you want to know, how can I get back to feeling peaceful again, feeling like myself? How can I use my arms, my legs, all my abilities and really live life full out? Well, we're going to be talking about that and all the ways in which we want to recover in life and get ourselves back to living a life full of purpose. We're going to be taking your calls. Again, that number's 800-333-0001. We're also going to be joined by our inspirational guest coming up our next segment, Sybil Brawley. I can't believe it. Just in about a year ago, she was hit by a car, a hit and run situation. The car never stopped, yet she sustained many, many injuries. And she'll be sharing with us how she recovered from that. But today, she is living full out and in a big way, and her personality is going to shine. You're going to love her. Also, we want to hear from you. If you have questions on today's show and you need further resources on how to recover from a situation, please reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com. Lastly, we'd love to hear from you. If you have a story that you feel would motivate our community, we'd love to hear that story and maybe get you on the air as an inspirational guest. So I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. Let's go say hi to them and see what's going on. Hi, welcome to Living Full Out Show.
Hi, Nancy. My question is, well, I'm currently a sophomore finishing out this semester. My parents have been bugging me to try and find a job for the past 2 years to pay for rent, but it seems like I can't find a decent job with decent pay while at the same time trying to balance my schoolwork. So my question is, what am I doing wrong and what should I do?
Well, I don't actually think you're doing anything wrong. And I want you to look at the way that you asked that question, because all of a sudden you're putting this blame on yourself, right?
Yeah.
I don't, and it's hard to be productive, proactive. It's hard to be hopeful when you have that burden sitting on your shoulders. So first of all, let's take off your shoulders, out of your mind, out of your vocabulary that you did anything wrong. What you might want to consider is what type of job would best match with your current schedule. So in this day and age, the good thing is there's so many jobs. There's hourly jobs, there's commission jobs, there's careers where you go into an office, and there's others where you work from home. And I invite you to consider what would be the best type of job to match with your current schedule. And it might not be a job where you go into a physical office. You might consider, there's certain job boards out there. If you actually Google it, work from home, one of them, which I've actually hired people living full out through, is Upwork.com. There's Guru.com. There's a lot of places where you can tap into a community and be able to work from home. And what that might look like could be anything. It could be customer support. It could be writing. It might even be related to your major, to your passion. So I would consider that. Also, you might look on various job boards like Craigslist or looking in the newspaper or going online. And lastly, what I would say is know your worth and what you're able to do, your skills and talents. Don't be afraid to knock on a door of a company that's not looking for someone and just march in there and say, hi, I really like what your company is about. I shop here a lot. I've used your services. I eat at your restaurant. And I don't know if you have any positions available, but it would mean so much to me if I could work here. Who's going to turn that down?
Yeah.
Right?
You're so right. Yeah.
So what I want you to do is you almost have to get out of your own way and allow yourself to look at all the possibilities. And I think if you do that, you will find a job, and it'll be one that you're proud of, one that pays the bills and satisfies your parents' desires too.
You're right. Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And let us know how it goes. We'd love to hear the updates. Okay?
Of course. Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day. So I love that she asked that question, because when we think about how do we get our life on track, how do we achieve these dreams and goals that we have for ourselves, sometimes getting a job, having the money to do certain things is important. And it's just figuring out what is the best match when it comes to a job for your goals, how much you want to make, your lifestyle. And you can even take that philosophy into relationships, right? Considering who you are as a person, where you want to go in life, making sure that you pick a relationship that is the best match. So we're going to go to the phone lines again, say hello to another caller. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show. Hi, thank you for joining us. How can we help you?
So my question is it healthy for me to believe I'm not doing enough by going to school full time and having a part-time job and wanting to go back full time at my job and full time at school just because of that thought that I'm not doing enough and feeling sort of useless?
So you feel useless? If you're not going full throttle, full time at everything, you feel useless?
I feel like I'm not doing the most that I can. I feel like I'm not fulfilling the whole school plus job stuff because I'm not doing full time at my job.
Well, let's look at this. So you're still early on in life, which just soak it up. Soak it up. If you're in your 20s and 30s, just gobble everything life has to offer. But over your life, what you're going to learn is that there's various aspects to life that you want to tap into. One is career, and school is kind of involved in that because you go to school to get your degree, to get your career, right? But that's just one slice of who you are. If your life is an entire pie, that's just one slice. Another slice might be your relationships. Another slice would be your health, having good health. Another slice would be hobbies, interests, passions, right? You have to look at all the different ways in which you want to diversify yourself. So to go full time at work and full time at school, if you go full time at two things, are you allowing yourself to be diversified? You might not. You might consider going full time at one of them, part time at another, and then that way you have part time also to dedicate to family, friends, working out, other passions. Do you see that?
Yeah. I feel sometimes that I'm not doing the best that I can. But I mean, I know that I have my family support and everything.
Here's what I want you to do for me. Okay. I want you to be a little bit better to yourself than you're being. Okay. And what I mean by that is you are creating a really big mountain and you're climbing this steep, steep mountain with all this full time, with all these to-dos, with all these expectations, with all these, I don't want to let myself down. I don't want to let other people down. It's just too much. And I think what's going to happen is you're going to miss it. You're going to miss the little things along the way. Because the thing is we don't have a guarantee of tomorrow. We can't go backwards in the past. We only have today. And I mean that sincerely. Okay?
That's very true.
Our inspirational guest in our next segment got hit by a car, could have died. She only had that one day. Thankfully, she had the next day. But not everybody's so lucky. So you want to really maximize today. So wherever you are in your day, today, I want you to maximize it. I don't want you to dedicate everything to one part, just all studying or just all friends. Just diversify. Okay. But I really want you to be good to yourself because I I think that you have amazing potential. That vigor, that spirit, that tenacity, that's to be admired. And that will lead you to great things. But if you make that mountain too big, it will be. Okay? So just sometimes take your foot off the pedal a little bit. Allow yourself to cruise. Cruise in that car. Doesn't have to be full throttle all the time. Okay?
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful day. And everybody, when we come back, we're going to be joined by our inspirational guest. You don't want to miss it. Her story is honestly one that could have happened to any of us. So hearing how she recovered is an important one for us to take note of, because you never know when we could be her. So we're talking today about how to recover and get back on track so that we can live our lives full out. I am Nancy Solari. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I'd like kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure.
Tomorrow?
Let's check with Mom. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm gonna return the kayak. Just make sure you have everything.
Yep. Can we walk home?
How about a taxi? 233 North Maple, please.
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood.
Best day ever.
A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Don't you wish that getting your child to eat right, move more, and spend less time in front of a screen could be as easy as pushing a button? It might not be that simple, but you do have more power than you know. And you can maximize that power with proven strategies, tips, and tools from the National Institutes of Health's We Can, or Ways to Enhance Children's Activity and Nutrition program. We Can offers all kinds of resources, including fun recipes and activities the family can do together to show you the way to live a healthier lifestyle. We're not saying it's easy. We are saying that it can be done. Take the first step today. Call 1-866-359-3226 for a free We Can Parents Handbook. And be sure to visit the We Can website at wecan.nhlbi.nih.gov for free information too. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit ignition.
And then
nothing. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite. Look out! Look out! And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I liked things to always be the same. Anything new or different would scare and upset me. I was very sensitive to lights and sounds. It was almost like I had bigger eyes and ears than everyone else. So I built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. I didn't like looking people in the eye. It made me feel uncomfortable. I'd throw big tantrums over little things like when my socks didn't match. Sometimes I'd do the same things over and over. Until one day, I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. With Nancy's expertise, you'll learn how to embrace your potential and strive for success. If you have a question or need further support, send us an email at connect@livingfullout.com. Now, here's Nancy.
Thank you for joining us today. I am Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we're talking about recovery. How do we recover from accidents where we may have physical pains or even times in our life when we have emotional struggles? And our inspirational guest today, Sybil Brawley, is no stranger to needing to recover after being hit by a car. And honestly, it's such an amazing story because any one of us could have been in her situation. So I'd very much like to welcome Sybil to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me, Nancy.
Absolutely. Welcome, welcome. So I want to kind of take our audience back a bit. You were doing something that night, which I love as well, which is karaoke. And you were just walking alongside the road with your husband when tragedy struck. And can you share with our audience what happened?
Sure. I had turned to speak with my husband, so I wasn't really paying attention to what was coming my way. So I didn't see the car hit me, but it threw me about 30 feet, and I landed on my face. I suffered a great many injuries, including a broken jaw, broken cheekbone, broken eye socket, broken nose, broken chin. Had a huge gash in my face, in my lip area. Missing teeth. I had a broken left shoulder, a broken left ankle, a broken right tibia, a torn ACL, and a broken right wrist. So it was definitely something that I never thought would ever happen to me. I went from having broken no bones in my life to broken countless.
Wow.
It was crazy.
And it's interesting because I Googled your husband's 911 call, and it's so scary. I mean, you can just hear in his voice how scared he was for you, and you even hear you moaning in the background. It was really, really scary. And I'm just wondering, were you in pain? Could you feel any of those injuries?
I wasn't even conscious, really. I don't recall being struck by the car. I actually woke in the ambulance not knowing really what had happened to me. And when I woke in the hospital, my husband said I was hit by a car, and it just kind of bewildered me because there didn't appear to be any cars on the road that night. But this car came off the road and struck me. So it kept going and at such a rapid speed that they couldn't read the license plate of the vehicle. So they're still looking for the person who did it.
Wow. And when you woke in the ambulance, obviously you're scared and, maybe starting to feel the pain at that point. What helped you? What gave you the strength in that moment?
Well, really, wow. I went through a myriad of emotions, and actually at one point just told the ambulance people just to let me go. I was just tired of living in this crazy, wicked world that we are in right now, and I was ready to go and be with Jesus. I was just ready and just to be done with it all. But the Lord just kind of woke me and said, no, this isn't your turn. It's not your time. And, I really want to do something with this. And so He's really fit to help me grow beyond things I could even fathom to do myself. So it's been a very interesting journey.
Wow. And when you were told the news, obviously your husband shared with you all the gravity of your injuries. And it's funny, when I was in an accident a while back, I was in an accident where I broke ribs and punctured my lung. And I was thinking to myself too, I had never broken anything. And did you ever deal with the why me question?
Oh, absolutely. As a believer, I've always asked God, hey, what do you want from me? Here I am, use me. Here I am, use me. But you never think He's going to use you by putting you in the path of a car so that you can demonstrate your faith through tragedy in a situation like this. So it was definitely something that took me by surprise. in that I never thought really I would have to suffer something like this, you know. Just wow.
Yeah. And I know that sometimes it's scary because you didn't have insurance. So not only were you facing all these injuries that you had to get rehabilitation from and heal, but you were dealing with not having insurance. And that must have been emotionally stressful as well.
Yes, definitely. Financially, you know, not having caught the person, there was really no one to go after. So, you know, through fate, you know, we reached out, and, you know, there were organizations who have helped. I even, you know, had one of the surgeries that I had, they used it as an exploratory surgery, so they were able to deduct it. So even the doctors, you know, in the trauma unit that helped me with this, you know, they were of great help, and they even respected my own views on healing as a holistic health practitioner. I use oils for medicine, and so that was very important for me in my healing process, and that I went from a hospital stay, which they said would be about 2 weeks, to about 4 days. So I was out of the hospital with all those surgeries and everything I did after just 4 days. And, you know, I really didn't use any of their big pharma pills or any of their medicines in my healing process. So it's been a very interesting journey because I haven't really suffered pain as I thought I would. I guess because in God's perfection and His provision, He has protected me from things that you know, maybe I would typically feel or experience if it wasn't in His necessary will for His glory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you think was the secret sauce that got you through that time at the hospital? All the unknowns, the stresses of no insurance, just the amount of work that was ahead of you.
Well, you know, my husband was really a big inspiration in getting my focus on, you know, the first day was sad, you know, wow, look at me. I mean, I was bruised, looked like I had, you know, been run over a car, because I had, literally. And so, you know, my face was all swollen, and, you know, I really didn't recognize myself when I looked in the mirror. So, but he kept me focused. He would see when I needed to be, you know, lifted up. And so between him and a lot of other support that I had in my home, the insurance, I have an accountant who's one of my dear friends, and she knows things like this. So she helped me take care of the loopholes, and so I didn't have to focus on some of the things that I would typically have to. I could focus on resting, and I could focus on my healing.
And the key word there, and the key word is focus, which I think is one that we all need to kind of take from this story. So, Sybil, when we come back, we're going to take a short commercial break and come back and pick up on your story if you'll stay with us. And for everybody listening today, we're talking about recovery and what it takes. Obviously, Sybil's saying it takes focus, it takes determination, faith. All of these things we have the ability to tap into. So that is what we're going to continue to talk about through this entire show. And so we'll be coming right back after this break. This is the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari.
There are many sounds in your day-to-day life. There are sounds that wake you up. Sounds that make you smile. Sounds that energize you. And sounds that help you relax. But there are some sounds that can alert you to danger and can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you information about severe weather events, Amber Alerts, or other emergencies in your area. With critical information from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know, wherever you are. For more information, visit ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey, but people in this town call me Maniac. They call me that because I'm the fastest runner in town. But just because everyone knows who I am doesn't mean I belong. I don't really belong anywhere. You see, I'm an orphan and I wander the streets just looking for a place that I can truly call home. My name is Maniac McGee and I'm all alone. Explore new worlds. Read my story in the novel Maniac McGee by Jerry Spinelli. For other great book ideas, visit your local library or log on to literacy.gov. Brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Look for the bare necessities.
The bare necessities of healthy living are easier than you think.
You better believe it.
And the Food Pyramid shows you the way. With just the right amount of exercise and the necessary grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, and meats and beans.
Just the bare necessities of life.
So eat right, be active, and have fun.
Yeah, man.
For your own path to a healthier you, visit mypyramid.gov.
This is really living.
This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Ad Council.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
What if I could tell you that a full-blown wildfire was going to occur tomorrow right where you live? Tell you exactly which neighborhoods it would engulf and how fast it would do it. The first thing you would do is talk with your loved ones and make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a wildfire will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you make a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back to the Living Full Out Show. My name is Nancy Solari, and today we're talking about how to recover after an accident, after an event in our life where we're physically or emotionally affected. It might be physical pain, emotional torture or abuse that we've gone through. How do we recover? How do we get back on track? So that is our focus today. And we're being joined by our inspirational guest, Sybil Brawley, who I'd like to welcome back to the show. Hello, Sybil.
Hello.
Hi, there you are. Hi. So, I wanted to
Wonderful.
Yeah, I can hear you now. So what I want to do is, remind our callers that why, she is calling in today is because she was actually in a hit and run, but yet she did survive, but broke many, many bones in her face, her arms, her legs, you name it. But yet she did survive. She is with us today. So, Sybil, we were talking about coming back into this break, is just the fact that, you were able to be determined and have a positive attitude to go through the rehabilitation. You did not have insurance, unfortunately. Where did you even begin?
Wow. Well, I had to start by learning to walk again. That in itself was very eye-opening. Something that most people, don't even think they have to ever relearn how to do. But it was that, I guess, that one thing. If I could just did that one thing and keeping my focus on the one goal at a time and not allow myself to, feel pity or allow my weakness to own me. So I would be purposeful. And, as much as people would want to help, a lot of times, I would request, hey, let me try this myself, physically, and then I would take the other things in my life that I usually would do myself. And I tried to delegate them to other people so that I could focus on the healing part, because healing takes rest. And that was one of the things, to slow down was probably one of my other bigger challenges, because I was always on the go before the accident.
I love that you just said that. Healing is in the rest. And even for everybody listening today, if you're trying to work out, if you're just trying to be productive, sleep, people. It's good stuff. Resting is a great secret ingredient. And I'm glad that you touched on that. And I know that outer beauty was a large part of your life and just your entire life in terms of your career and what you were dedicated to. How did you have to kind of get to know yourself in terms of loving yourself despite the scars?
Well, I had great cheerleader. My husband, he was probably one of my biggest inspirations for motivation. Because when I would look at myself in the mirror, when I would see my reflection and not really recognize myself, he could see the sadness that I would express. And so he would say little things to help cheer me up, because he knew, that was my thing. So having a cheerleader, having someone to encourage me during the situation really, was also very important process in my healing and rediscovering who I am, because I'm no longer who I was. I'm somewhat different. I feel different. I look different. I have a new outlook, because I could have been gone. I look at these things sometimes and, we taking for granted the little things that we don't even think of. Sometimes I get up and my house is empty and I have 3 kids and a husband, and I go, what would it have been like if I wasn't here? This house really would be, one-less person, and my kids would have no mother and my husband would have no wife. And so, keeping the necessity of being the mother and the wife at the top of my healing as well, so that, that I could heal and help them heal as well, because, my husband witnessed my accident. So even for that, trauma, I felt really bad. He had to see something like that. I can't imagine how I would have felt if I had seen that happen to him. You touched on a great point. He saw the car hit you. You flew 30 feet, and then, just seeing how injured you were. You touched on such a good point there. And I'm just curious, what is your relationship, and how have you forgiven that person, or have you forgiven that person? Well, I don't have any kind of relationship with the person because they haven't been caught yet. So we're still looking for the person. And, honestly, I feel like they're cowards, that they're hiding, that they're not taking responsibility for their actions. And that's frustrating, because I think so much of our society has been taught that, it's okay to run and hide, but it's not, And even though we do run and hide, I feel sorry for the person who did it, and that they're being tormented by their actions. And that, I know if I did that, I couldn't sleep at night knowing that I didn't own up to my transgressions for that person. So I would love for them to turn themselves in, and, then I could definitely forgive. But at this point, I'm really angry still, indirectly. It's not an angry at them, but an angry at the situation, and that they allowed themselves to be in a fearful situation where they didn't take responsibility for their actions. And, as a society, that's just not acceptable.
Well, I'm angry for you. Yeah, I mean, I'm angry for you because, I live in the Los Angeles, Orange County area, and people get hit all the time. I hear it on the news daily, hit and runs. And that's why your story, I think, is so relevant that it could be, any of us. And the emotion that you have of anger, how do you diffuse that? How do you manage that?
I use it, really. I put it into my healing process, in my exercise, in my physical frustration. I use, my exercise, and I can't get a huge amount of exercise in. I mean, when I say exercise, for me, that's stretching my arms and stretching my jaws, and or using some sort of planking or because I'm only a little over a year out from my accident, and just recently got really released to be able to do some more physical exercises. But I just into that, and and I don't allow that anger to control me or to manipulate how I might treat other people. I really do feel sorry for the person that they feel like they couldn't stand and take responsibility for what they've done. So
now, if I was in your situation, I would be kind of skittish about cars and maybe a little fearful, because you don't know if I don't think lightning strikes twice, so I doubt you'd be hit again by a car. But do you find that you're just more weary now? Or are you more alert? Or have you just kind of packaged all that away as kind of a random accident and you don't live in fear?
I really don't have any fear. I know some of my friends have asked me that same question. And, being a passenger, I have more fear from being the driver and a rear-ended someone. Actually, back in 1990, yesterday was the anniversary of that, and didn't have a seatbelt on, so my head was stuck between the windshield and the steering wheel. So I have more trauma from not wearing my seatbelt in the car, getting in a car, or being around a car than I do the situation. I guess partly because I didn't see the car. I didn't see the car hit me. And I don't recall being struck by the car. I was really blessed in that God protected me, and that I didn't feel any of the suffering. When I listened back to my husband's 911 call, I could hear some of the things that I was dealing with, but I don't have any recollection of them. So I guess I'm protected from that type of trauma, in that so I don't have any fear that I carry with me. But I'm not the type of person to have fear of much anyway. So most of my friends know I'm a pretty fearless person. And I'm only 5 foot tall, but I'll stand up to a 6'5" man with not a problem.
And I believe that. I do believe that. And I guess as we round out this interview, we just have literally a minute or so left. What is the biggest takeaway in terms of how has this incident, whatever we want to call it, how has it made you a better person?
I'm trying to be more open to what people are dealing with in life and their situation and how they treat me, and I really do try to take every day and live it to its fullest, because it could be the only day I have left in life. We never know what life is going to give us. And so I'm ready at all times for whatever, but I'm going to, I'd have to keep my focus on being joyful and living, to the best I can,
Well, I love that. And honestly, we're so grateful that you did survive. Really a miracle. I'm so proud of you for the strides that you've made. And again, for everybody listening, civil stories could be any of us. And I think it's just about being aware, having that determination and yet keeping a positive outlook. So you are truly a great example of what it means to live full out. So thank you very much for being on the show today.
Well, thank you for having me, and I look forward to hearing how maybe this might have helped someone else in the future.
Oh, well, I'm sure it has. I think about your story often. You've already touched me. I'm number one. So thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll talk with you soon.
Thank you. And so I really take from her story that we need to live full out every day. We never know when such an incident could happen and how precious life is. But most of all, when we think about recovery and what it takes to heal, to get through the wounds and the pain and the frustrations like she went through, it is possible, especially when we can be a source of strength for somebody else. Think of somebody who is trying to recover in their life today and reach out to them. Be that olive branch. So we're going to be coming right back after this break, taking more of your calls. Today it's all about how do we recover and live our life full out. I'm Nancy Solari, and we'll be coming right back after this break.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
The following message is about Medicaid and CHIP, free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. Enrollment is open year-round.
Hey, voice lady, give me the mic.
Okay.
Hey, DJ, let's switch up the music. That's better. So listen up, moms and dads out there. There are these programs called Medicaid and CHIP. They offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids. Things like doctor and dentist visits, prescriptions, and shots are covered. All the stuff that keeps kids like me healthy and in charge.
So, as you can tell, a covered kid is a confident kid. And it means confident parents, too. To learn more about affordable health coverage for your family, visit healthcare.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. That's 1-877-543-7669.
Yep, you could do something big for your family today because enrollment is open year-round.
This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And Sophia.
They're gonna jump out of trees. You can't stop them. They'll go down the slide head first. They'll make parachutes out of sheets. They'll balance on things that are impossible to balance on, like the back of a couch or a windowsill or a scooter seat. They'll run with sharp objects. They'll run into walls. They'll climb things that won't hold their weight. They'll put their fingers in places where they could get smashed. They'll drive their tricycles down steep hills. They'll bounce balls off their faces. They'll step on each other. They'll jump on each other. They'll invent whole new ways to put themselves in jeopardy. But one of the most dangerous things kids will do happens while they're sitting perfectly still. Kids who ride in a car without a booster seat are much more likely to suffer serious or fatal injury during a crash than kids in boosters. But amazingly, 80% of all kids who need them aren't in them. After a toddler seat and until they're 4'9", booster kids, and don't let them down.
Go to boosterseat.gov to learn more about the importance of boosters. A message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Have you ever lost a cat? And have you ever wanted to get your cat back after you lost it? I'm Andrew Hoffman. I invented the Lost Cat Magnet. Just turn it on, and lost cats stick to it. Just listen to one satisfied cat. That's proof. You should invent stuff too. But remember, don't do a Lost Cat Magnet.
Anything's possible. Keep thinking. Get started on your own inventions or just play some games at inventnow.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, the National Inventors Hall of Fame Foundation, and the Ad Council.
We're your pets, and this song's dedicated to those people who don't have health insurance yet.
Enroll, we say. We want you to be okay. Enroll.
take. Health insurance is now affordable and covers prescriptions, hospitalizations, and preventive care. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn more.
And take care, people.
Brought to you by Get Covered America and the Ad Council.
As you try to recover and heal and get your life back on track after an incident or an event in your life that has caused you trauma, always remember that you will get back to living full out. You want to keep the determination, the hope in your heart, and you also want to make sure that you ask for help when needed, because so many people in your life want you to feel normal, feel free, and be happy.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. Nancy is here as a guide to show you how to rise above obstacles and savor each moment. If you have a question, call in live at 800-333-0001. That's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
All right, welcome back to the show. I'm Nancy Solari, and today we're talking about recovery and what it takes to get back to a place where we're active again. We're feeling on purpose. We're happy. And the reason why I bring that up, and I say it just like that, is like our inspirational guest, I have been there as well. I remember years back, I was hit by an umbrella and broke 4 ribs, punctured my lung, injured my back. And I remember laying in the hospital thinking, oh my gosh, this is the worst pain I've ever felt. And it really took 2 years for me to get through and let the ribs heal and my lung feel whole again, and not to hold on to any of that pain. And through that, what I learned is the people in your life, the supporters, if I didn't share with them what it was that I needed, if I needed somebody to drive me to the doctor, or if I needed just some emotional support, if I was frustrated or needed to, cry or, get those emotions out, if you don't turn to people and tell them what you need, they're not going to know. And sometimes they might not ask. They don't want to stir the pot. They don't want to make you feel bad or have you think of bad memories. So I urge you to step out there, and as part of your recovery, just open yourself up to people, because that's definitely one of the main steps to do. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we have a caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hello?
Hi. Thank you for joining us. How can we help you today? Did you have a?
I guess.
Mm-hmm. Did you have a question? What can we help you with?
Oh yeah. How to improve communication between roommates.
So tell me more. So you have a roommate, and you guys don't get along?
Not just general improved communication, I guess.
Okay. But so tell me a little bit more though. Is it that you feel that others in your life don't understand you, they don't hear you, or in what way is your communication struggling?
Yeah, I guess unheard.
Okay. So you don't feel like okay.
Understanding each other.
Okay. What I want you to keep in mind is that the only person that you can control in any situation is yourself. Okay? And sometimes that can be frustrating because you're looking at the other person with hand gestures, eyeballs rolling, maybe the tone of your voice saying, don't you get it? Right? We've all been there. Mm-hmm. But they might not get it. And all you can do is state your case and provide as many relevant examples as you can. I'm not saying you have to talk like you're an attorney or anything, but at the same time, to be heard means that you just get out of your body, out of your mind, out of your heart, everything that you want to say, and let it flow over to the other person. But then there's a second step to that. You want to ask them, can you just paraphrase back to me what you think I said? Okay, now I realize in a heated argument that might not be so easy to do, but you can still ask for it. You just want them to be able to reiterate back to you some version of what you said to make sure that they got it. Now, if their version of what they repeat back to you is not even close to what you said, they just might not get it. And sometimes that's going to be for them to have to digest and to deal with. Okay? If those relationships are in your life where they may be toxic, they may not be supporting you, they might be ones that you have to let go of. Consider the fact that relationships, the people in our lives, they don't have to be in our life forever. They might be part of our life as childhood friends or, mature adult relationships, but it doesn't mean that people in our life are in our life forever. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So trust your instincts. I can tell by calling in today that you care about having better communication with people. And so just try to be as effective as you can in stating your case. Whenever you're in the height of that argument, slow down. Try to be as clear as you can. Ask them to paraphrase back to you what you said. But that is really all you can do. And then from there, decide whether or not that's a relationship that you want to keep or not. But I would love for you to call back and keep us updated on how that goes. Okay?
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you for calling in. Have a great day.
You.
So as we close out today's show, we talk about recovery. Again, sometimes it's a physical injury or accident that we've gone through, and we're just going to try to get back on path and heal and feel healthy again. Other times it's emotional stresses we face, and just like our last caller, trying to figure out how to best communicate what we need when we need it. But living full out is about letting life layer, letting life wash over you. So you have to just kind of experience these ups and downs in life. But if you stay the course and be true to yourself, absolutely you will recover and you'll come out stronger. So I want to thank everybody who listened to the show today, our entire Living Full Out family here, Rich and Roger and Kristen and Amanda and everybody who is dedicated to you living your life full out. Have a wonderful day. I'll be thinking of all of you as you recover. And here's to you living full out.
Thank you for listening to the Living Full Out Show with Nancy Solari. To learn more about this program, visit livingfullout.com for the latest episodes. Connect with the Living Full Out community by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you have an inspirational story you want to share, email us at connect@livingfullout.com. Here's to you, living full out.